though, we know that there is still much to be done. Most immediately, we have to ensure that everyone has the ability and the right to equitably and equally access these life-saving programs without fear of stigma or discrimination. That's why this forum today and the work that all of you are doing is so important, and that's why I appreciate this year's theme for the International AIDS Conference, Rights Here, Rights Now, and also Be Heard. We've got to make some noise to be heard, and that's what you're doing today and this week. No matter what achievements that we may tout in our battle against HIV and AIDS, we will have failed to truly address this disease if we really ignore the ongoing violations of fundamental human rights that still continue to be perpetrated against the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community and people throughout the world. We can't have hate alongside compassion as we respond to this global pandemic. They just don't go together. The sad truth, as you know, is that in many countries, they wish to bury their heads in the sand when it comes to recognizing the fundamental human rights of the LGBT community. Some countries go further and seek to prosecute our brothers and sisters simply because of who they are and who they love. That's unconscionable. Unfortunately, in my own country, in the United States, we are still battling stigma and discrimination as we fight for basic equality. As an African American, as a woman who continues, yes, and as a Christian, mind you, who continues to face racism and sexism, there's no way, and I chair the Congressional Black Caucus, 42 members of Congress who are African descent. I could not fight for human rights and human dignity for the LGBT community. It's not acceptable for me as a Christian to allow discrimination against anyone to exist. This is a moral issue. And although we've had some successes in changing public perceptions and raising awareness about the second-class status of our LGBT friends and family, we still have a long way to go. I remember last year, we were in the middle of an appropriations committee. I serve on the appropriations committee in the Congress, and I was debating my colleagues about the need for more funding for the MSM community. And let me tell you, at the end of this debate and discussion, it was amazing because they all looked at me, Democrats and Republicans, and they said to me, who do you mean? What do you mean by MSM? That was last year. So we have a long way to go, a long way to go. According to a report released just this past Tuesday by the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs, last year 22 people were murdered in the United States as a result of their sexual orientation or gender identity. People of color accounted for 79% of these murders, and 50% of those murdered were transgender women. This year, we've already heard of several disturbing reports of transgender people being killed and attacked. And we've heard almost daily reports of individuals being assaulted, harassed, and discriminated against. These shameful, cowardly, and despicable acts against the LGBT community cannot be tolerated in a free society that claims to value, and this is in my own country, these numbers, these statistics, these people, these human beings who have been killed or attacked or harassed. This is not right. You know, we claim to be a standard bearer of human rights, and so we have to fight for human rights and dignity for all. That's why, after more than a decade, the Congress finally, mind you, took 10 years, finally passed, and our great president signed the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act. It took 10 years. 10 years.